Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the SH Figuarts Iron Man Mark 6 Armor and Hall of Armor set review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
Just to give you a quick look at the back of the box, you can see a couple of pictures of the Iron Man Mark 6 armor at the top, and then you can see some of the Hall of Armor pieces down below with some of the various Iron Man armors inside of them. And an even closer look, I think that's what many collectors have been aspiring to for their 1/12 armors. And there's the right side of the box, another picture of the Iron Man Mark 6 armor. And there's the left side. So once you remove the top section from the box, you can see that back there, there's another picture on the inner portion of that top section. And then you can see Iron Man in the clamshell and his variety of accessories and parts. And then you can see the Hall of Armor piece on the right. Two separate clamshells, just pretty much hollowed out on the inside on that side and on the opposite side. Pretty much the same thing, just the instructions in there. I will say the Hall of Armor part definitely has some weight to it. There is a light up feature, but let's go over Iron Man and his accessories. Looking at the Iron Man 2 movie Mark 6 armor out of the package. And I always say that SH Figuarts does an excellent job with their Iron Man figures. Some of the best figures they produce, in my personal opinion. This is actually their second time releasing the Mark 6 armor. The original version is one of the first Figuarts figures that I ever received. Got that and the War Machine armor from that same movie at around the same time, if I'm not mistaken. And I thought both of those figures were amazing. They really knocked my socks off. Unfortunately, the original Mark 6 Iron Man armor did not withstand the test of time. And that figure that I have is broken at the leg. And I think that was a spot that a lot of people had trouble with on the figure. And there were a lot of breaks with that original figure. So here they are releasing the figure again along with the first Hall of Armor part. So as you saw, he had a pretty decent amount of accessories, a pretty standard amount of accessories for an Iron Man armor. He comes with a set of fists out of the package. He's got a set of open flat palms, and it should be noted that the hand guards here are removable, and you have to take them off each time you want to swap out the hands and swap it on to the next set of hands. I'll only be doing that once for time's sake, so I'm just letting you see that though. And he's got another set of open hands with the fingers slightly spread. And then finally he has a set of hands that are open with the fingers spread, and they have a little peg in the center of the hand so you can tab in the repulsor blast and simulate him shooting his repulsor blast. And it should be noted that these pegging on the wrists on somewhat of an angle, and that way it enables you to really get them up and facing forward when you plug in the blast. So let me get this other one on and then I'll plug in the blast so you can see that real quick. There's that. Those look good. Like I said, these are pretty standard. You can see the energy kind of concentrated here toward the front of his palm, and then it's thinning out a little bit at the end. I think the paint work on these look good. They always look good. But yeah, this is the long set. He also has a short set. I guess you could use either for repulsor blast, but I do believe this set is supposed to really be the repulsor blast, and the short set is supposed to be more so when he's kind of leveling out, when he's landing and he's trying to level himself out. I believe that's how it could be or should be, but again, I guess you could use these as blasts as well. It's up to you. And there's another option for the short boosters and another set of effects here, or another set of accessories. These can be tabbed in and the little peg hole on the bottom of his boots. And these are the boosters, and those tab in easily and they look good. Then you also have the option of removing these panels from his calves and tabbing in a set that will simulate those panels opening up. Here's a look at that. And finally, these two panels across his shoulders and along the upper portion and the mid part of his back can both be removed. And when that's exposed, then you can tab on the last two interchangeable panels to simulate that panel opening up, and this all works in tandem here, so you can see that. Quick look at some of the details on the armor. Like I said, SH Figuarts always does a very good job with their Iron Man armors. Close to no flaws on this guy. I did see a couple of little paint imperfections. One down here on the foot. Looks like a little paint scuff there. And I think I saw one in the back. Yeah, here, one in the back. It came out of the package like that, so I definitely didn't do that. And other than that, I don't think I saw anything else. The paint work is phenomenal. Everything looks very good, very clean. No real issues here with pretty standard articulation. The neck moves independently from the head, or the head moves independently from the neck, so you do get a very nice range of motion. As you saw, he can look up. The head is on a double ball peg. I don't know if you can see that in there, but you can pop the head off at the neck or pop the head off from the peg on top of the neck, if that makes sense. But very good range of motion. Pivot left and right, full 360. No issues with the head and neck articulation. Shoulder flaps can move up, so they don't hinder the articulation with the shoulders at all. You can get them up pretty far. You can do a full 360. Upper bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow. You get a swivel and a hinge on the wrist. You get articulation in the upper torso. It can move circular left and right, turn left and right, forward and back, and then you also get additional ab articulation at the lower abdomen, and you can take them back pretty far, and you get a little bit of turn here close to the pelvis. You can see, I guess, what you might consider a T-joint at the pelvis. Legs will come up that far, but it's sort of that pull down method that Figuarts has, and you can pull it in and out of the joint to allow for more or greater range of motion, and it'll rotate on there as well. I believe he still rotates here as well. Yeah, it can still rotate on the joint below the ball peg too. So good range of motion in the legs. The knees, I don't know how similar they are to the first version, but this was the issue I had with the first version, which I'll look at in a second. And but you do get a double jointed knee, but this was very brittle for the first release, and that's how it broke. I didn't really do anything. As a matter of fact, I had took the figure out of the package one day, and the leg just fell off. It wasn't even, it didn't even happen while I was posing them up or anything. But anyway, the foot is on a hinge. It can go back a little bit. Forward, it won't go forward too much. It does have a slight pivot. It can turn left and right. So, like I said, standard articulation here for Iron Man. Good range of motion. And just a quick look at the two versions side by side. On the left is the original version that was released. My one-legged battle damaged armor here. It's not too bad because I get to use this in a display where I have like Tony in his shop or something like that. But anyway, you can see the slight color variation between the two. The original armor is a little more vibrant with the red and gold, and the new version here is more burgundy and a lighter shade of gold. You can see a couple of other slight differences in the abdominal area here for both of them. Even on the arc reactor, it looks a little different. The circuitry inside of there looks a little different. This little divot on the chin is different on the older version than the newer one. See how they look on the side view. So I don't know. I think I might actually like the color on the older one better. I'm not sure which one is actually more accurate to the movie though. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And yes, I still do have the lower leg for the original version. And yes, the original effects that came with the first Mark 6 do work with the new Mark 6. So there's the shorter repulsor blast, or the buffer booster, and there's the longer one. I actually really liked these effects from the first version. I ended up using them with a bunch of different figures. They've got nice light piping. There's the rocket boosters from the first version, and those work as well. So if you had the same issue that I had with the first version with any breakage, then at least you can still salvage the parts and accessories. Alright, so now we're taking a look at the actual Hall of Armor set piece, and this looks very good. Like I said, it has some weight to it. You can see down here on the bottom where you're supposed to plant the feet of the armor, and you can see that little design on the inside. Nothing crazy, nothing intricate. Along this part here is where it lights up, it seems. You actually get two little parts here that we're not going to use right now, because you would use these to actually interconnect one set with the next, and I only have one here, so I can't show you that right now, but we'll save that. And then this is how the back looks, and you're gonna have to screw that out, and you're gonna need 3 AAA batteries, and not no bum ass dollar store AAA batteries. You're gonna need some good batteries to pop in there. Unfortunately, it does not come with batteries. You think you spend $120 some odd dollars, $130, you think they give you some batteries, right? No. And there's the armor actually inside. There is no real mechanism to lock the armor in place or anything like that. You just gotta kind of pose him up to make him look like he's just on display and line up the feet and everything. I don't think I did the greatest job. It was kind of a rush job, but it looks good. It looks decent. And just so you can see the scale of this, if you have the Hulkbuster, he's just that much taller than the set. And there's a look at the lights with it completely dark in the room. And that looks okay. You know, my batteries were not brand new to begin with. They were some good batteries though. I wish this was a little brighter maybe. It doesn't look too bad. I would assume that with the more set pieces, the better. You know, you get a bunch lined up and light them up, it'll probably look better. But yeah, there it is with all the lights back on. Really nice. I do like this actually. Is it worth 120, 130 bucks? Yeah, probably. I mean, you got the figure, which is usually a $50 figure, and then the set piece probably was not easy to mass produce. I don't know, maybe it could be a little cheaper, maybe about 100 bucks. But I'm absolutely excited about the possibilities for having an actual Hall of Armor. At least 7 armors in there would be great. You know, they definitely about to release the Mark II. Definitely a nice little surprise to pick up early from the Tamashii World Tour. The regular release of this figure should be in the next week or 2, actually. Not sure how practical this is going to be for everybody to buy one of these armor pieces for each armor that they want to display, especially if you want to do multiples up to 7, like I mentioned. You know, that's going to get a bit pricey to buy one of these every single time. But if you want your armory to look official and look clean, then you're gonna have to throw down that money for one of these pieces every single time. Now I think this is your best option. It's you know, a standard stock release from them, as opposed to you trying to make up something. And you know, it does look really good. We'll see how it starts to form as more pieces come out and you start to connect them, but I'm pretty happy with this purchase. I do think it could have been just a tad bit cheaper, but I would definitely recommend this, and I'm really looking forward to rounding out my armory. This is something that all of us have been trying to do with Marvel Legends and other lines for the longest, so it is what it is. Alright, so yeah, until next time, peace.